Hey everyone, it's Kathy and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping, and back here in my craft room. As you can see, I have a beautiful card in front of us today. I saw this on Pinterest and I kind of did it a little bit different, but kind of stayed in the same color palette and the same bundle, which was the Country Corners, I think, something. The Countryside Corners and the Countryside Corner dies. And what makes this card so cute is this flops up and it opens like this. You have a place up here where you can put either money or a gift card, whatever. I just stuck a little Venmo card in mine. You could also put something else over here. I thought this would make an absolutely beautiful card for a graduate. We are entering in now to the graduation season. I am going to a graduation in Michigan. The 24th I'm going to be leaving, and I probably won't be back till Sunday, so I know we won't have a live that weekend, but anyway, or that Friday. But anyway, I wanted to bring this and show you how to do it. Now the instructions are what I saw. This is done with a 12 by 12 piece of paper. You cut it in half and then do your angle, but I'm going to show you today how to do it not having to use a 12 by 12. We're going to use 8.5 by 11. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, like I said, we're going to be working with the star of the show, which is going to be the Countryside Corners and the Countryside Corner stamp set. Now this stamp is a one big stamp, and we're going to stamp this a couple of times because we're going to need to use it a couple of times. Also, just so you'll know, here's my host code that's current right now, and also my website that takes you into my Stampin' Up store. So if you see something you like, you can very easily copy that down, or if you want to wait until after the video's over, that link will be in the video below. So let's see what else we're going to use. I've got several stamp sets over here, but we're going to start and kind of just play with this. So let me grab some paper and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back and I have some boho blue. I went ahead and got 2 sheets of this, plus I have some scraps here for stamping, and I also have a thick basic white. So I'm going to lay this to the side and we're going to concentrate on this to make our base with. And I'm going to show you how you can make a 6 by 6 card using our 8.5 by 11. So I got my paper trimmer and I want to cut one piece that is 6 by 6. So 6 by 6 is very easy. Just put it all the way over to here. You don't have to measure anything. That automatically gives you a 6-inch piece. So let's turn it and cut it one more time at 6. Now this is going to be the base or the back of our card. In order to get that piece that we need, what did I do with my other full-size piece? Okay, I thought I had 2 pieces. Okay, let me regroup and see where my other piece of cardstock went. I know I had 2, or at least I thought I did. Oh, I did. It somehow slid off of my desk and was laying over here on the floor beside me. Okay, here's our other piece. This piece we're going to need to cut a little bit larger. So we're going to need it to be 6.5, and 6.5 is right there. So 6.5 by 6. So there's our 6.5, and we can close this back down and cut it this way at 6. Now that 6.5 side, we're going to put that in, and you can see when you put it to this edge, you have a 1/2 inch right there, and we're going to score that. So let's get that cut blade out of our way, and we're just going to score up on this. Give it a really good score, and then fold that score line to the valley. You have where you scored into it, turn it over, and fold that into itself. And you want to give that a good crease because this is a nice heavy-duty cardstock that you might find is a little bit stiff. So we're gonna burnish that down really good, get it nice and flat, because this is what's going to give us our card. Now we're going to put this down with this to the front, because we're going to cover this and no one will see our seam. So before we do that, let's go ahead and cut our angle. And we know that we want our angle to go from here to here, because this piece right here is what we're working on. This is going to be tucked back like that. So we're going to cut from this corner to this corner. So it's easier to cut it now than it is once you get it adhered to the other piece. So we're just going to bring our trimmer back in, and I'm going to flatten that back out. And all I want to do is I want to put this score line right into the track of the trimmer and hold it, and then pivot your other piece until this point. Let me bring that up just a little bit. This point is into the track. Maybe if I turn it sideways, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. So I'm making sure that this fold line is right in the track, and then pivot that over to it's in the track. Once you get those lined up, you can, I like to bring my blade up middle way, close my arm down, and I'm going to hold that really tight, and I'm going to cut down and then up. And when you take that out, you should have this, just like that. Save this piece because you can use this for something else. It's a great piece for a scrap, for a sentiment, or whatever. All right, so now we're ready to adhere this to our piece that we have here. Now you can do this in a variety of ways. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal because I know this is nice and strong. This is the plus, and I'm going to run this Stampin' Seal just down that 1/2 inch fold, and then I'm going to fold it over, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to butt these together just like this and make sure they're nice and together, even, and then just fold that onto it. That gives you a really good chance of getting that perfectly lined up, just like that. So I like to take my bone folder and go over it. Let me get that out of my way. I like to go over it with my bone folder just to make sure everything's adhered. And if you have a tiny little bit of a hangover right there, just take your paper snips and snip it off. It's no big deal. Just, that was just barely a hair. I mean, very minute piece. Hardly enough to even worry with, but I like to make sure everything looks nice and clean and neat. So now that we've got that done, we need to decide what paper we want to use on this. And I want to look and see, this is that Countryside Inn. I am so in love with this paper. I think it is stunning paper. I'm trying to decide. This would be a pretty piece to go on here. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? But do I want something that's going to show up a little bit? This piece would be pretty too. Oh, I love that. I think I'm going to go with this piece. Okay, so it's always like, okay, which paper do I use? Which paper do I use? That's another pretty piece too that has a, I'm going to leave that one out. I might use that one as a coordinating piece. All right, so what I want to do first is I want to cut a piece that's going to go on the inside of this. And we know that it needs to be 6 by 6, but I'm going to cut it just a tiny bit smaller. So I'm going to do 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So let's bring out our trimmer and put this in. Make sure your paper's going in the direction you want it to go in. And this, I think this paper really isn't directional, but I like it like this. So I'm going to do 5 3/4. Make sure everything's nice and straight. Hold it down. down to the bottom and slice up, and then I'm going to turn it and do 5 3/4 in this direction. Now this is our piece that's going to go just like that, and you see it's going to cover that up. No one's going to see that seam once we get our paper down. I love that. So the piece that goes over here, I wonder if we can use this piece. I think we can. Maybe not. We're going to use the back side of this one. Yep, we can do this one. So let's cut this. Let's see, this is already 5 3/4 by let's cut it down to 5 3/4. And then we can do our angle cut on this. And all I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to line both of my peaks into the track and do an angle cut. So once I get it in there, then I'm going to bring my arm down. I'll bring that to the center, my cut blade, push it down, making sure everything's lined up in that track. I'm going to double check. Yep, that looks good. Then I'm going to cut like that, and then I've got a piece to go on the inside and a piece for the outside. Now you can decide, and this is totally up to you. Let me get that out of my way. All right, we know that this piece is going to go here. You can decide if you want this piece to go here, and then this piece would be out here, like that. You could do it like that, so it would be that two-tone on the outside, or you could do this piece in here, and this piece would be our piece that's here. I think I'm going to do it like this. I really like that, and I like that contrast when you open it. So let's go ahead and adhere our pieces. No, wait a minute. We don't want to adhere this one yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's wait. We got all of our pieces cut. The next thing we need to do is some die cutting. So this is where we're going to bring in our thick basic white, and I'm going to cut this in half. So at 5 1/2, and my dogs are snoring in the background. I hope it's not too distracting. I cut that piece in half. So I'm going to bring out my stamp positional tool. Really, again, I can't tell you how sad I am that this has gone away, but hopefully somewhere down the road we'll be able to bring back our wonderful stamp apparatus. If you're fortunate enough to have gotten one of these, I know you're very thrilled. I'm going to lift this up and grab my magnet. I think I'll only need one magnet because we're not using the mat underneath it, so it's not that thick. So I'm going to put one magnet there, and I'm going to grab the countryside in corners, and we're going to lay that down something like that. That way I can stamp it on both sides of this. So I'm going to bring it right about to there. Go ahead and pick that up. Now that we've got that stamped again, let's take a look. Very pretty. Now we can take these out. And I do want to clean my stamp, so I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Mist, and I'm just going to spray some directly on to my stamp. And you can see it starts to move the ink off right away. So now we got a nice clean stamp and ready to go back into its packaging. I am going to put my magnet back on the back. I love it because I have a place to park my magnets, and just a nice tool to have. So if you were not fortunate enough to get a Stamparatus when they were out, I will tell you that We Are Memory Keepers has one that they've just released called the Precision Press, and it looks pretty awesome. So if you don't have one, I would say pick up one of those. I'm not advising anyone to get a Misty because that's the reason we don't have our Stamparatus, so, which makes me very sad. I'm going to leave that boho blue ink right there, and I also have a Night of Navy. So these are going to be our 2 ink pads that we're going to use for this card. But now we need to do some die cutting. And double checking to make sure I'm getting all my sizes right. Okay, we need to cut this one out of that, and then I need to cut this one off of this one. So this piece, actually I'm not going to use this piece. I need a longer piece, and I'll show you what well, you know what, I probably can do it here. Yeah, we can do this here. I'm going to score this at the top at maybe 1.5 inches. So you're going to need this piece to be grab my ruler so I can make sure I want to be able to give you precise measurements. You're going to need this piece to be at least 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. I'm going to write that down because I'll forget. Okay, so 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. And what this is going to do, this is going to give you your flap at the top that you need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to here, and I'm going to bring that over to about 1 1/4 inches, and I'm going to score it. Just like that. I'm going to fold that like that, and then I'm going to, when I do this, I'm going to bring this up so it doesn't cut that top. See how I'm putting that where it's not quite touching that top? And I'll show you what that's going to do in case you haven't done this before. This is going to give us a place where this piece will flap up, but it's all going to tuck in back behind that piece. It's going to work beautifully, I promise. So bring it up to about there. Let's get this out of our way. And I'm going to use some of my little flags to make sure I'm getting this down exactly where I want it. We'll put one here. One here. And I think that'll be sufficient, and we're going to run this through our die cut machine. We're also going to do this one, and what I want to do is make sure I'm getting that second set of lines right there in this one. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to adhere that there and this here. And we're going to run, I'm going to actually cut this one off. And just so that we don't have, and then we have this one separate for what else we need to do. So let's go ahead and do this one first, and I'm going to put it in just that tiny little bit of angle so it's going in right there. And now this one needs to go. Yep, I need one size down. Something like that. And you want to get this nice and even. Let's bring that over there. Put these back over here, and we'll keep the bottom portion of this. I always keep little scraps that are, you know, that could be used as a sentiment strip or whatever. So I just hang on to little pieces like that. All right, so I'm going to line this up as nice and even. And that looks pretty good. So again, I'm gonna put that down there and this one here. And let's bring our die cut machine up one more time. So now we have this piece and this piece, and like I said, I'll have all the measurements and everything in our on the PDF. It'll be on my blog when this video goes up. So that's what we want, something like that. That gives us this window in here to stamp it in. You know, I cut this one a little bit bigger. Well, I don't guess we can put it back right now. I should have left that in and cut that out. Well, you know what? It's okay. We'll just have the room for a larger greeting, which will be great. Let me see what stamps I want to use, or what stamp set. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, I do have a couple of stamps that I'm thinking of using. My question is whether or not I can get this congratulations under here. It says, "In everything give thanks," and that comes from the Courage and Faith stamp set. I love this stamp set. I think it's so beautiful. Had I had more room in here, and I could go back, and I may do that. I think I might go back and use one more die and cut this out, cut that part off. So let's see what would happen if we come in, I think with this one. I think if we cut that much more off of that, we'll be able to fit that in there perfectly. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So now Yeah, we have this. So this is going to give us much bigger framework to be able to put our sentiment inside here. So I'm just going to lay that there and do my stamping. And let's go ahead and get these plates out of our way. We did our little necessary evil there to, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tape this down just like it was a die. Maybe at the top and the bottom. Maybe like here and here. Beautiful. And now, you know what, let's go this direction with the tape. That will help me better be able to see what I'm working with as far as putting my sentiment down. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one and this. There we go. I think that's exactly the way I want that to stamp. So I'm going to grab a bigger stamp block. I'm going to turn this sideways and make sure that I can get all of that on that stamp. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to ink this in Night of Navy. You know, this looks like it needs to come over just a hair this way. So I'm going to ink that up with that Night of Navy. And I may give it a test run on a piece of scrap paper. Never hurts to check it first. Yeah, I think I like that. So I'm going to ink it again. And then I think we can close this one up. And then I'm going to try to do this in this direction. I don't know, I think I can do better like this. Try not to get my head in the camera, so do forgive me if I do. You know, I'm not seeing it quite that good in this direction. I'm not seeing it good that way either. This is not an easy thing to do. So I'm going to try my best to center that as best I can. Actually, that's a little bit crooked, but you know what? I'm going to go with it because I think it will work. And my husband just went by the window with the lawnmower, so I'm sure y'all heard that. My mic picks up pretty well, which can be good and bad. Maybe I'll put the congratulations up on white and I can cover that. What do y'all think? I wonder if the congratulations would fit on... Let's give it a try. Who knows? We don't know until we try. That's always my motto in life. You don't know until you try. So let's go ahead and clean this off. Love my Stampin' Scrub. Alright, I'm going to take that stamp and lay it back over there. And I'm going to take this little stamp and we're going to get it onto a smaller stamp block that I can control it a little bit better, like that. Well, that's not straight. Okay, I'm going to try something, and I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to use the scrap part of this piece that I cut from, and I'm going to go right across here and see if I can get congratulations. And I'm going to go something like that. Looks good. Looks really good. And let's see, I think I have a tiny die that may work well with that. Alright, I got two different sets that I pulled, and I think if one of these don't work, the other one will. Again, I'm going back to that timeless arrangement. Remember I told you that this set will be one that you will pull out and use over and over. Let's see if this will work. And I might have to re-stamp my sentiment to get it. Let's see if I can get into these. Here we go. I'm thinking this little small one, but will it? It's not quite long enough. Well, you know, I'm just hitting a brick wall in every turn, but we're gonna get this. We are gonna get this. This is a cute one, something fancy, and this little angled one, and I do believe that this is gonna work perfectly. Just like that. So, all of that hunting and looking and everything paid off, because I think this is gonna work absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to whack this off like here and here. Just like that. And I'm going to get my little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because I don't need anything real big right now. I think we have got the most of our big stuff cut. So let's just go in with our little one. Move that stamp block out of my way. This is definitely going to cover up my my congratulations that I stamped crooked. Not really crooked, but off center. So I'm going to slide that on there. Stagger my plates. With the mini, you almost have to stagger your plates. And when you push that in and that handle lifts up, that's a really good sign. That's a good sign that everything's going to go through as it should. Whoops, they just flew out of there. All right, and I think we got that, and we got it out of this piece of extra leftover cardstock, which is wonderful. Anytime that I can use up a scrap is to my benefit, because that's less paper that I'm using for something else. So these something fancy dies are so cute. They are just adorable. Like that. And now let's bring this back over. Still got motion at my front door, y'all. And see, we can tuck this right here. We can actually glue that down just like that. And for that, I'm going to just use some Stampin' Seal, because I can run my Stampin' Seal right over the edge of this. And then I'm going to lay this on top to make sure I'm getting everything centered like I want it. And then I'm going to put this down right about here. Perfecto. Okay. So now for this piece, I'm just going to use some regular liquid glue, and because, well, you know what, I had this other one popped up. I'm going to glue this flat down, I think. Maybe not. Let's look at our adhesive strips. These are the foam adhesive strips. They're just like our Stampin' Dimensionals, but they're cut in little 1/8 inch strips. How fun is that? Look at that. So for this, we can just start like right here, and we can literally bend it to go in the direction we want it. You want to be careful though when you're doing your bends. What I like to do is bring it up in my hand like that, so that I can work it in the direction that I want it to go. And with this having all of these little angles, it is a little bit more challenging. But you know what? I'm always up for a challenge. And then we can turn that one up right there. And we got it on that many sides. And I had a little piece of a strip left over. And hopefully this is going to be enough to finish us up. So I'm going to butt that right up to that. And I'm just going to keep working it all the way around. Like so. And when I get back to this, I'm just going to take my paper snips and I'm going to snip it right about here. Just like that. So fun. All right, and then we can pull these off. And we're ready to sit this down. Now, because we've got this adhesive, we need to be really careful and try to line everything up. Okay, I'm going to start down here and work my way up. So if I get it even right here, and then work that over. That's not even. Let's bring it up. It's got to go down further to the bottom. That looks really good. I'm so happy with that. That is so cute. It looks much different than this one, but it's still okay because we made our opening bigger. All right, let's bring our card. And what did I do with the card? It's been so long since we worked on it because we've just been, you know, doing some other things and trying to get build everything up. Here's our card. I got so many stamps and dies out here. It's unreal, but you know what? It's okay because we're having fun. So here is our pieces again. Now remember, we want to put this down so that it covers up our workings where we connected those. But before we do that, we need to adhere this right here so that we have this nice little piece that's going to hinge over the middle of that. So I need to decide exactly where I want it to be. Move it over just a tiny bit. That looks good right there. So I'm going to take this up like that, and I'm going to lay it over like this, and then I'm going to put glue just on this panel, and I'm going to hold that in place because I don't want anything to move. I want to be able to get my glue on here. And then a little bit more right there. Then I just want to be able to press that onto that, bend it over. Now I can lift this up and give that a really good press. And now I know this is adhered to the back of this, just like I wanted it. So now we are ready to go ahead and put this piece down right here. So for this, I think I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to put liquid glue. Something like that. And then I'm going to close this piece down like that, and then I am going to sit this in just like this, right where I want it. Give it a good press. And now that's adhered and everything is in place. We do need to do our piece right here and our piece right here. I think I'm going to do that piece here. And yeah, let's go ahead and put this piece on here. Let me look at this one. Yeah, that's the way I want to do it. So I'm going to put glue on this part of this one. So I'm just going to go up the sides and across this edge and squiggle glue around. Oop. And then I'm going to turn that and I'm going to sit that down just like that. Yep, that's what I wanted that piece to do. Now we can open this up and we can go ahead and adhere this piece onto this side. So again, I'm going to glue squiggled on there like that. And I'm going to put this down like so and run it all the way up to the top like that. And now we have our card is coming together, and I think it's so pretty. So once you do that, if you want to come back over and just reinforce, got a little bit of glue on my work surface here, but that's okay. This glass mat cleans off beautifully, even if I get, I mean, I could squiggle glue on it like that and do that and come back with one of my little alcohol wipes and it will clean it off. The same with ink or anything. I am in love with this mat. So even though I might have, you know, ink on it or glue on it, everything cleans off wonderfully. And the little alcohol wipes cleans my hands too, so that's always good. And while I'm at it, I'm going to clean the top with my glue, and I'm also going to wipe my pen. Just go ahead and stick that back in there. Alright, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to do our inside, what's going to hide underneath this. And that's going to be another piece like this. And that's going to need to come up higher because it is going to need to mimic that in order to hide under it. So that's going to be the purpose of this. We're going to need to get this piece down identically underneath that piece. So let me get a paper towel so I can just kind of freshen up my work surface. I don't want to lay that card down in the wetness of my alcohol. There we go. Nice and clean again. So what we're going to do is we're going to butt this up to that, just like that. And then we're going to close it down and make sure that everything, it looks like it can go up just a hair more. And then that's going to hide away underneath that. Isn't that neat? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on this piece under the bottom, and we are going to adhere. I want something nice and big that's like congratulations, graduate, because I think we need something on the inside that's going to scream that our girl made it. She graduated, and I am thrilled. So I'm going to use my dies again, and I am going to, yeah, see, that's not quite big enough. I want this outer edge one, so I'm going to cut two, and one of those is going to be the largest one. So we'll cut the very largest one, and then the one that's the one size down, which is this one. I'll get those taped on, and then when we come right back, we will put the rest of it together, we'll decorate, and we can call this card done. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, I have this adhered down, and we are going to go ahead and run this through our die machine and cut both of those pieces out. But all we're wanting is that outer edge. So that's the goal behind this, is just to grab that outer edge. And it's going to be so easy to do that with these dies, because you can cut off of them anywhere that you want to in that stamp. So I think it just makes it absolutely wonderful the way these work. So let's pull that off and pull this one off. And there is that frame that I was looking for. Now we still have this piece, and I still have this piece that we can use in other cards, so I will not throw those away. I also have this smaller piece, so you can see out of that I still have 3 pieces left that I can use on another card for something else. So I think that works out beautifully. Anytime that you use this Stampin' Die set, you're going to get more than what you bargained for, because you're going to have pieces that you can use for so many different things, and that makes this set a very usable set. And I always say I don't mind spending money for a set that is actually going to be beneficial. So now, as you can see, this is going to frame this perfect, just like that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and adhere this first, and we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment on this first. So I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid glue, and I don't want any bulk inside the card because I want it to be able to lay flat. And oh, look at my glue just pouring out. That was way too much glue right there. See if we can wipe some of it down. That'll work. Must have been a little air bubble or something in there that shot out way too much glue. Alright, so we're going to bring that around, and I am going to line it up on this side first, and then I'm just going to kind of walk it around. And as I walk it, I'm going to try my best to get it nice and straight by using the outer edges, just like that. And now I'm going to lay it flat and just give it a press. I did get a little bit of glue on my fingers, but that's okay. I got my trusty little alcohol wipe laying right here beside me. So now you can see we have that completely done and on there. I think I'm going to go with the Charming Sentiments, wishing you everything wonderful, or congratulations, wishing you everything wonderful because you deserve it. You totally deserve it. So let's try the congratulations. See if that's going to fit. Yep, that's definitely going to fit. And then wishing you everything wonderful. Because you totally deserve it. I may pop this whole piece in my Stamparatus because I would love to be able to stamp this all in one shot. And we're going to need our little matte end this time because we are working with a photopolymer stamp. So I'm going to put the matte in, and I'm going to lay this right here in the middle. Maybe I'll line it up right there on that dark line. We need some magnets. So I want to make sure I line that up right there where I need it to be and put a magnet there. And I'm going to grab the other magnet and put it right there. And I'm going to double check and make sure these are nice and straight. That looks really good. So now I'm just going to put that over and pick up those stamps. And I'm going to throw this little case up underneath here just to give me that nice flat surface that I need to ink on. And again, I'm going to grab the Night of Navy because the Night of Navy looks so pretty on that lighter blue. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamps. And the good thing about using a stamp positional tool is if we don't get a good impression, we can come back and stamp again. Yep, and see that one didn't do real good right here. So we can do that again. Just like that. That looks really good. So it did take 2 inkings to do it, but look how beautiful that turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. Fan it just a little bit so I make sure I get it nice and dry so I don't smear ink. Now bring my card back over. Again, I want to lift this up and I want to make sure that this is going right up to the top of that. Just like that, but I want to make sure it doesn't impede it because I definitely want it to come over and cover it, and I think that's going to work perfect. It does need to come over this way just a hair. And I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this right on top of this one. And then I'm just going to fold it down. Perfect. And now when we close it up, it looks like this. And when we open it, it looks like that. Love that. I think it's so pretty. So now the only thing I need to do is I need something else here to give this a little bit more pizzazz. So let me grab my balloons and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back once again, and I have stamped and taped down some balloons from the beautiful balloon bundle. So I have stamped 3 of the small ones and 1 big one, and not big, but that's the medium-sized balloon. There are larger ones in it. Also, this little streamer, I want to cut it out and see what it looks like. I'm not sure because I haven't done this before. So we're going to do it together and see what we come up with. Let's bring our card back over. All right, here's our card. So I thought, what if we put one of these here and one here? That looks like a graduate card, right? I think that's cute. And then on the inside right here, I was thinking of having a little streamer of balloons, something like this, or like this. And we can run some string and have it trailing off. I thought that would be cute right there. And then I have this other sentiment that says you did it. And I want to stamp it on a piece of white cardstock. And let's see. Let's move this over here. And I think I want to do that in the boho blue. Oh, so pretty. And for this one, I'm just going to take my paper snips and I want to just do like a little bubble cut around it. So I'm just going to go I'm going to go ahead and cut straight across, because once I get to the edge like this, I can cut so much better if I just have a little piece of cardstock. You did it. I think that's going to look really cute right about here. And we'll adhere our balloons. Like I said, I think I'm going to do them here and here, and maybe this one right here, or maybe one on top of that one. Maybe something like that, and then we'll have some strings coming down from there. I think that'll be cute. Now there is the inside of our card. I love that. This is our outside, and the two little streamers that I did, I think I am going to do those right here and here. And I'm just going to put a tad of glue on that little dot. And I'm going to put that right here. And then we're going to put this one right there. And that gives us that little oomph that we need on the outside of the card. Now we need to put some gems on it. So I'm going to grab something. I want something pretty, and I love these flat adhesive back pearls. They're so pretty, and I think these are going to give our card that little touch of elegance that we love. So I'm going to grab one of these, and I'm going to put one right here. Grab one of the smaller ones, and I'm going to put it right up here. And And then I think I want to go up and grab, maybe I want something different up there. What about the little iridescent basic jewels? I think I'm going to grab the little bitty one, and I'm going to put one right here to look like they're hanging from those streamers, and one right there. How cute is that card? So now we have this beautiful card that says, "In everything give thanks," 1 Thessalonians 5:18, and then it says, "Congratulations, you lift it and open it, you did it. Congratulations, wishing you everything wonderful because you totally deserve it." Now I will probably put a panel on the back. Well, I know I will now because I've got ink on the back of it. Can y'all see that? Yep, right there. I'll put a panel back here, and I will write a sentiment because this is going to my granddaughter that's graduating from high school. So thrilled, thrilled, thrilled. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed this. It was quite a feat in getting everything together on this card. But like I said, I will have everything listed. You can always follow the video to see exactly how I did it. And I hope this is something that you may decide you want to make. It is a beautiful, beautiful card. I think anyone would be absolutely thrilled to get it. We can do a little bit of work with our piece right here to get this to come over and lay a little flatter, as well as our piece on the top. So just take your bone folder and really work that piece down, and the same thing here, work that down, and then everything will lay much better. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember that if you would like to purchase any of the products that you've seen in the video today, that you can go to my website and pick up any of these items. All of these items are current now because they are in the new annual catalog. So I love you guys so much, and I thank you for tuning in once again, putting up with all my little blunders and things that go along the way. God bless and keep you, and as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Until next time, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, I'm back. When I was cleaning off my desk from where I had done this video, let me zoom y'all out just, oops, wrong way, a little bit here. I was in the process of editing my video, and I found out that I forgot to do my pocket for the gift card. If you notice on my prototype, when you lift this up, there's a little pocket here with a cutout that will hold a gift card or money, whichever. And for a graduate's card, you definitely want to have that little, oops, you want to have that little pocket there. So let me show you how I did that. I'm going to do it with a piece of a contrasting piece of paper. I think I'm going to use, the Night of Navy instead of the boho blue. And I think a piece about this big will work. I think that'll work perfect. So what I'm going to do is, all you have to do is grab a piece of cardstock and measure it. This is 4 by 3.5. So I want the width to be where I'm going to put my die down, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to take that second from the largest die, which is the size of, actually no, the bigger one. Okay, you want the bigger one, and see that fits over there perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to cut this piece of paper just like that to get that bottom portion of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this up, and I'm going to run it through my die machine. Just like we did all the other times before. Turn this around and get it straight. I'm going to put my cover plate over it and go ahead and crank that through. Helps if I get a little leverage on it. And then once I get that cut, I'm going to show you how we're going to finish that off. Put those up. We are going to take the sticky notes off, and we're safe to say that's trash. So we'll trash that, put our dies back over here, and then I'm going to bring this up just to see if that's how deep I want it. I don't need it quite that deep, so I'm going to cut off about 1 inch of that. Now, you could, if you were cutting your piece of paper, I just reached in my scrap bin and got a scrap out, but if you were cutting your paper, you would probably want to measure it to be about 2 inches, maybe 2 1/4. Yeah, let's go, I'm going to do 2 1/4. And that's going to give us our little pocket. And then I'm going to take my, did I put that punch up? No, it's laying right here. This is our homemade tag punch, and this is still current in our catalog. So they brought this one back, and I'm so glad they did. What I'm going to do, because I want a decorative little angle on this, so I'm going to line that up just about like that, and I'm going to make sure that it's about the same on both sides. And I'm going to bring it down because I'm going to see where I'm lining it up, where it's even there and there. See, right against those little pieces, and I'm making sure that it's about the same on each side. And then I'm just going to punch that. Then when you pull that out, you got a nice little decorative punch. And all we have to do now is put glue on the here, 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 and here. You don't want any glue up here at the top. So I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to run glue as close to the edge as I possibly can, all the way down the sides and across the bottom. Something like that. And then I'm going to sit this down close to the bottom, but you don't want it to impede your score line because you want that to freely close over. So make sure you push it up. If it is impeding it, push it up just a hair, like that. Yep, that's better. And then adhere that down. You can just press it with your fingers like I'm doing, and you might even want to press in on it just a little bit, or you can take something flat like your ruler and put in it. You see, that didn't work because that popped it up. Let's wait for it to dry and then we can do that. But that will give you now a cute little pocket for you to slip down either a piece of money or a gift card. And I think that, like I said, that is crucial when you are talking about a card for a graduate, because all of our graduates want money. If you have a little bit of a hangover like I do right there, just take your paper snips and come in, trying to get an angle that I can cut on. I think this would be my better bet. I'm going to bend my scissors just ever so slightly so that I don't cut into the boho blue. I just want to trim off that little tiny bit of Night of Navy that was hanging over. You could definitely see it against that white paper, so that was the reason why I wanted to make sure I trim that off. And I can still see just a tiny bit of it. Let's see if we can trim that just a little bit better. It's not hard to do, but like I said, you don't want to cut into your boho blue. So there, that looks much better. All right, so I got those off of there, and let's see if that's adhered. I think it has. So now we can take our ruler and slide that in and just lift up a little bit on each side, wiggle it back and forth like that, and that will open that pocket so that it will leave it open for you to put money in it. I felt so bad that I forgot that part of it, but anyway, it was no problem. I was able to come back in before I even started editing my video and to show you exactly how I did that. Easy peasy, and again, thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.